Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy. I musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.
Witamy na 429 warsztatach poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Dzisiaj jest czwartek, 7 stycznia 2021 roku, godzina 21. Tematem dzisiejszego spotkania jest tłumaczenie pierwszej połowy 361 warsztatu poszukiwaczy wiedzy. Mamy fragmenty od 24 minuty do godziny 9, od godziny 12 do godziny 30 i od godziny 41 do godziny 47. Zapraszam do obejrzenia materiału.
Go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers program. In the past, few weeks, we have started a new cycle of teaching that we prepare mankind for the final step from point of view of man understanding his own soul. As today is the eve of the Christian calendar, New Year, as we enter 2021 with a lot of hopes for the future for mankind. We strive to understand more, we strive to see more, to gather energies and essence of creation that will propel us forward to achieve more in understanding of our own, what we call potentials, our own development of knowledge about ourselves. In the past months and years, we brought everything possible together to show energies, fields, materials, effects and systems that makes mankind ready for the next step. We show you materials, how to make plasmas, collection of fields. We have shown you how to create conditions for changing these plasmas into effects that will convince you that there is a creation, there is a cycle of life beyond. And in this process, we have gathered more and more knowledge about ourselves, about our souls, about how we see the next step, how we see the next standing of the man in respect to his own creation. Many times in the past years, we have repetitively encouraged you to take chances, to understand more, to take in the totality of the knowledge, where mankind will become one, where mankind will become one with his soul and his physicality, where mankind will become to understand about his total life. In the recent weeks, we have taken steps, leaping steps, in trying to make sure that we understand the process of creation. We understand the totality. We understand how everything has been made to create conditions for the creation. Creation of new life, creation of new soul, creation of understanding one's existence. During the process of the teachings over years, we have spoken about the process of love and loving. And in so many ways, we understand more and we try to strive to understand more. What does it mean when we love? Be it the love in the physical life or be it love in a dimension of the soul and creation. In giving and in trying to understand the totality of what we give. Many knowledge seekers in the past week have come to a point of trying to understand how to elevate their souls. But in our teachings, during the teachings, and in what we have shown in the past weeks, we have come to one point. How do we elevate? How do we understand the elevation? How do we see from what we have taught the position of the Creator. We always talk about the strongest to give to the weakest. The weakest to be there to give, to receive from the weakest point, but to give from the strength, from the strongest he has. In a way, this should have taught us a way how the Creator works. The Creator gives at the highest, at the most powerful level. But does the Creator take from the best and the highest of what he has created? In a way, the cycle of life, from learning from the point of the Creator, it starts from humbleness, from being humble, from being so low in the strength that you receive, that you can give. The system of understanding is what is and what has to be understood by all, and not in one way or another followed in the steps, in gaps, into what fits. In so many ways, many of you, when you made these cups, when you made these systems, when you made the pyramids since last week, you always look, how do I can set these systems that it can help me to achieve whatever to show my soul. In reality, it goes back to the point of creation. To the point of creation by the Creator. When you stand in between the 4 systems, or maybe 6 as your knowledge extends, or maybe 8, and you stand in between for your soul to extend, to understand, to be seen, you have to become humble, humbler than what it is. This is what I explained in a teaching yesterday. You got to understand, you create the soul of a solid. Doesn't matter what solid you have chosen. You might choose the soul from the dimension of a gold. You might choose the soul from the dimension of maybe calcium. You might choose the other dimensions. You might choose the soul of a plant. Could be your favorite flower. Could be the most beautiful things you could ever see as a tree. That becomes part of your soul, part of construction and the structure of your soul. And in that process, you have to become lower, humbler than those that you could receive from that your soul could be shine, could show itself. In so many ways, mankind lives with 2 dimensions. One in a dimension of the physicality, that it has to be the best, the biggest, the whatever is to have the more of, and then in a dimension of the soul, that it has to be the most humblest and lowest. And this is where the conflict between the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man has been from the time of creation. To possess, and at the same time, in the dimension of the soul, to be so humble that it's below. In a way, how can these 2 exist within each other, has been the dilemma of the man in the cycle of life. This is why we created the emotion, where the difference between the 2 becomes the emotion. The difference in the strength and understanding of what is to give and what to receive become the essence of what we call emotion of the man, or the emotion of the soul. The soul of the man receives his emotion in interaction with other souls, and in conjunction with what it receives from the physical soul to compare with. So we come to one point, many of you looking for your soul. Have you become to the point that the expectation to receive to be so humble, and the expectation to give to be so big that there is no gap between the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man. In so many ways, mankind has always been afraid of this loss. What am I going to lose if I let one go? And this is the reason why it has become part of the life of the man. We always die with the fear of losing, the fear of letting go, that what will happen to physicality. We try to grab and hold on to the last seconds, that we carry on at least being witness to something we call life, our own physicality, our own body. And this has become a cycle that it has destroyed mankind. In so many ways, we grab as much as we can in a physical life, but we are not so humble to give in the dimension of the soul of the man. Many, many of you will face this. Many of you will build these cups, many of you will make the pyramids, but because of non-truth, non-understanding within yourself, you will not be able to reach, to achieve the elevation of the soul. And then it become meaningless, then become nonsense, because it's not there, I cannot feel it, because you haven't become humble enough from what you have created to receive from them, and you have the greed of the man to give and to possess the physicality of the man to be alive. And this is where the two come together. This is where the mankind in the coming time will learn to trust one with the other, to elevate one that reaches the other, and in giving will bring the position and the position for both to live within each other, to live amongst and adjacent to each other. In so many ways, the fear of loss of the physicality, that it confirmed the existence of the soul, has become a noose around the neck of the man himself. In so many ways, mankind needs to step up. Mankind needs to understand, am I, can I, could I create a condition that in the level of the strength of the soul, I become lower than what I have created as the cups which are supposed to feed me. They're supposed to become the source of my life, that I can elevate and show myself by what I give. In so many ways, if you reach that point, if you come to that point, that you can be even lower than what a mankind knows to the soul of an electron, then you might understand the position and the way the Creator works. In the world of atomic nuclear structure, we always see a shining light rotating around the center. We call it the electron. But how does it become? It's so humble that through its humbleness and in lower strength manifests itself in the presence of a bigger, which is the creator of it, which is part of it, what we call the proton. So in that essence, mankind needs to understand. Mankind needs to progress to the next step. The fear of the loss of the physicality, or the love of becoming so humble to become close to the Creator, the way He is, the way He operates, the way He has been in the process of the creation. Therefore, for many of us, this dilemma needs to be solved in coming time, where we become so humble that we become lower than that, what we call, what we know at this moment, one of the smallest particles we call electron, that we can receive from it, but at the same time, in doing so, in becoming so humble, the interaction of the fields of it with us creates the manifestation and conformation of our soul. The same, when we become such a small dust of the fields in interaction with the field of the soul of the Creator, which is even lower than us, that He says, I made you to make children that they may love me. In that creation of love and giving, it manifests itself. So, in so many ways, we understand the Creator becomes even lower than us to be able to receive the love of us in what we can give. And then, as it receives from many sources, it shines more. Then it becomes the creator of more. Then it becomes the giver of more. This is what mankind has to strive to understand. And at that point, if you can achieve that point, if you can become the lower in the field of the strength of the electron, then your soul shall manifest itself. Not to you, but to those who are the observer of your existence. As I said, in many ways, we only know our existence of our soul when it comes in interaction with the soul, another plasma. Can we create a new dimension of the new soul? In a way, with the new enhancement units, we can create that condition, create such a low, much lower than what is now, and with it to allow the soul of the man to receive at the highest strength within the system, that it shines itself, it shows itself. In a way, in many teachings, I have said that in the new enhancement system, man, some of us, which will enter the system, will shine, will see a bright light inside the system. It means that we become so humble in accepting what we call the conformation of existence of our soul, that in that interaction with the strongest fields within the system, we will shine. It's not to go in to receive, it goes in to give a new cycle, to give, to start a new cycle. It goes to the point of creation, it goes to the point of understanding. And the teachings from now on goes in that direction. How to become, how to live, and how to start structuring technologies that the science meets the religion. Where the science, the systems you make and develop meets the structure of your soul, where has been the promise of the Keshe Foundation, where the science meets the soul of the man. Creating systems that the man himself can, through his development, meet and see and be able to elevate his own soul in the process of creation. We have not come here to give you UFOs. We have not come here to give you the technologies that you have a heat and electricity and the food. We have come here to teach you the essence of the creation through understanding of the technologies which man can tangibly see, develop, and with it confirm the existence of his own soul and confirmation of the greatness and the beauty of the Creator. And how humble it is that through his humbleness and the strength of the soul we transfer to him, he shines. This is where, as I said, the two meet. We bring the science and technology together. And in that respect, we bring the science of the soul, understanding the operation of the within the structure of the Creator, within the structure of the physicality of the man, to be understood, to be seen, to be appreciated, and to be loved. Maybe for the first time, you knowledge seekers understand why you have come such a path. Why we have taken you through this cycle, step by step. This is where the man, the soul of the man, meets the soul of his creator. Through understanding of the science and technology, which has a meaning to him and is being created through, and within it, we shall lead to the creation of new cycle of life. In a way, is where the science meets the soul of the man, and the man meets the soul of his creator. But in coming time, you need to learn more, because man is physical. Man always relies on his physicality to see, to touch, to smell, to feel, that it confirms his own physical existence. But man now has to learn about the emotion and feeling and manifestation of the soul of itself. And then in that progress and the progression to the final point, man becomes mature to the totality of his existence. And then man will realize, if I can be feeder and I can be connected to my creator, that in return, he, in touch, is within me, then the completion of the cycle of the emotion of the creator becomes part of the emotion of the man. At that point, man reaches the point of maturity, and as we said, it becomes part of, as it is totality of. In a way, what we have created becomes our creation. In the coming weeks, as we teach more and more, we understand there is no difference between science and theology. Both stay and both stem from the same source, but it's how we define it, in which direction. In the direction of the field transfers and energies, or in the direction of understanding of physical matter. In so many ways, the weakest ganses you can produce, you have to become even weaker than that. But you can receive from them, that you can shine. If you see your systems shine, it means the arrogance of the existence of the man has taken over, as you become the feeder and not the receiver. And this is a very good measure for many of you. In so many ways, mankind needs to become mature. Mankind needs to take the next step in understanding of its own existence and its totality. In so many ways, many of you who chose gold or platinum or zinc, you find out you have to change them. What's the lowest element I can find that I can make ganses of? What is the lowest element I can lead to the creation of as a gans in these corners of pyramids, that in be it I can faster confirm the existence of my soul. In so many ways, don't strive to find the fields that are the strongest. You'll find out they meet much, much above your soul. And there's no room for your souls to shine, to manifest itself, and for man to find a path to the path of creator and creation. And in that process, then as you give, you can decide what and where to manifest yourself, to be in the line of the essence of the vision and the feeling of the creator. That is the ultimate goal of the creation. To be so giving that you get noticed by the creator, that he takes and allows and gives to you, that you become him, part of him, as a collective messenger of the universe. This is the process of humbleness. This is the process we take as we call ourselves messengers of the universe. we become part of, as we become so humble to give, maybe knowledge seekers understand why we teach so openly and freely, as the knowledge given has become pattern of our lives, to elevate the totality, unconditioned and without borders. Borders of nations as mankind has made, or borders of the galaxies and universes. The totality of the understanding of the knowledge is that very few have ever achieved this position, and then they become part of the Creator. And in that process, they need and they understand the totality of the need of not only the man, but the universe and its citizens, and the universe and its inhabitants. In so many ways, we take steps to change the condition according to the teaching of the soul and not according to the teaching of the physicality. Maybe mankind will strive to understand more, and maybe mankind will take the next step. Maybe one day, one soul on this planet will reach that point that will make it and shows the beauty of the Creator. This is where that single soul, through its humbleness and its creation, will bring the light and the shine of the Creator that will elevate the whole of the creation in one instance. In a way, as the sun shines and goes through, and you put one mirror in front of it, that it lightens up the whole room, where the room was dark, and the light, one ray of light, has led to the point of enlightening the whole room. In so many ways, the creation of the new life is that beacon, that through it is so humble and is so beautiful that it will light and reflect the light of the Creator, and shining and reflecting its beauty, and it's become the source for the totality of the creation for the first time, to see the essence of the Creator's love and creation, and not necessarily to see the Creator. The creation of the new life, the new cycle for man is that point, to be the mirror, to be the point where it shines the beauty of the Creator. And as I said, it takes one soul, it takes one mirror to light up a room from the light of one candle. In a way, mankind needs to understand the process of creation is that. And now we are in that process to create that candle, to create that mirror, that it shows and reflects the light of the Creator. The birth of new life is for the whole of universe, that through it, through one mirror, through one soul, in being its humbleness and its beauty, the whole of the universe will be enlightened by the knowledge of the Creator in time to come. Now, you go back, and go back to your teachings, go back to what you've been taught over times as knowledge seekers. Don't look to create the ganses of the most powerful. Go and create the ganses of the lowest. That process in interaction, when you stand in between, you might you might be so low that in front of those you might receive to shine, as the strongest will pass you by, as you cannot reflect, as you have not created a condition for it to be absorbed and to be observer of. In so many ways, when you look at the structure of the brain of the man, it should have given mankind a lot of indication why it does not carry the most heaviest elements in the universe within it. But it carries the reflectors and the lighter stuff the totality of the structure of the brain of the man, to be able to understand, and the work of the soul of the man relies on carbon, which itself, in essence, is a structure of the combination of what we call the pyramid of six. And mankind should have learned how to create the new pyramids that leads to the manifestation of understanding of the emotion of the creation and the creator and the man itself at the same time, in the same place and the position, where there is no time and there is no space. Mankind needs to move on to understand. Knowledge seekers, you have created everything. You created the ganses of gold. And those of you who strive more and more to create the ganses of hydrogen and below, are those who the souls are closer to the dimension of understanding and being able to manifest and see the operation of their soul. In so many ways, when we gave you the 5 cups, in so many ways, when we showed you the 5 cups, with the soul of the man, as you will make the 6th base of the, what we call the pyramid, that leads in collection to direction and dimension of the path to the soul, the totality soul of the creation and the creator. You got to understand, many of you have not taken the next steps to the completion of what we call understanding of the creation of the soul of the man. You created the ganses of the soul, of the physicality. You created the ganses of the vertical and horizontal. You created the ganses of the soul of the man as you thought. What happened to the creation of what is in a sense and essentially the creator of you? How many of you have managed to create the ganses of the plasma, the ganses of liquid and the ganses of gases, that in collection and collectively you can create the totality of the dimensions of the creation? In so many ways, as knowledge seekers, you still have steps to go. In one of the teachings, I explained the creation of the ganses of gases and liquids. Try to understand it, as without them, you could not be able to achieve the understanding of. As those shows you the detachment, where in physical life, in horizontal and vertical, you confirm your existence within direction and the inertia of its own life. But when it comes to the gans of plasma, then you understand you need to know more. And in that process, you will understand where the weakest fields of the creation sits, that it leads to the creation and interaction with the fields of your soul. And enlightenment will show you the direction to the path of the creator. In so many ways, some of knowledge seekers went in the path of creating the gans of ganses. And in that process, they found in some passages the ways to create the gans of the plasma. And that is what you will need in understanding and in direction to be able to create the final soul, to be able to create and understand the totality of the work of the creation. Mankind cannot attach itself to physicality in every shape or form, be it the gas, the liquid, and the states of their life, without understanding and possessing the power of the fields of the plasma. Then that field, once you create it in the correct way, might lead you to creation and control and elevation and humbleness of your soul. Mankind's soul is made from the ganses of the ganses of the elements of the body of the mother as an egg, and the ganses of the collection of the ganses of the body of the father, the sperm. How can you create a system when you have not found a match? In so many ways, mankind needs to understand. Mankind needs to elevate itself, to understand, to replicate everything the same. You cannot create a condition to reach the level of the soul of your life if you have not understood the creation of the fields of the plasma. Your system lacks credibility and understanding. In so many ways, would the system stay individually and solid as you make it in the box? Or do you create ganses? Do you create fields? Do you create the souls where it has to be in reality in a dynamic condition? Maybe now many of you understand the collection of teachings over past 10 years, 15 years, where we do not make, but we guide you to make and develop the systems. When we showed the first dynamic systems, and then we created 129 Tesla, that was the first beginning of to show the power of the understanding of the creation of the fields of the plasma, that today, if knowledge seekers understand this, can lead them to the creation of their own condition for confirmation of the existence of their soul, that other souls shall see. This has been gifted only in one condition to Universal Council members in the pure soul of service, and they lose it once they lose and they leave their position. In a way, we have given the collective understanding of the creation to the souls who are here to serve on the banner of the Universal Council members, that they shine. They don't need to make cancers. They don't need to make systems to be shown. What they call humbleness and servitude will cause them to shine, that other souls receive the reflection of the beauty of the Creator within them. In so many ways, those of you who became members of Universal Council understand to consider your position and understand to serve. You become part of the reflection of the light of the Creator. That's why we said people will recognize the members of the Universal Council by their light and not by race and their physicality, as they receive through their humbleness to serve the light of the others, that they shine. In a way, you will see the strength of your soul when you stand next a true member of the Universal Council, as they are so humble to serve that their existence in physical dimension takes no meaning. Maybe if you understand this, you understand how you will see the light of the Creator when you reach that state. And in that point, you become the receiver of the light of the Creator, and you become one of the messengers of what we call universal messengers, as you become part of it, and you become it. And with it, you spread the knowledge of the Creator amongst His created. In so many ways, mankind becomes ready, and the universe has become ready for man to step into the new dimension of not only becoming the member of the universe community, but to be able to connect and see the beauty of his Creator, as he himself is part of this community. The universal community is him, and in totality, we are Creator that will lead to his creation. In so many ways, mankind has to mature in a very rapid way through the understanding of the new technologies, that he can, for the first time, has the ability and be able to deliver his soul to serve the Creator and nothing else. In so many ways, to become so humble that in matching in humbleness, he might reach the position and the understanding of the creation. Maybe today's teaching brings you close to what life needs to be. And in so many ways, what life can be for all of us. As today is the end of Christian calendar and most of the nations of the world use it as a point of reference. That from tomorrow, a new beginning will bring the new understanding that 2021 becomes the one which mankind will take the path to reach its totality. Maybe now, as knowledge seekers, you go back to your dynamic system. You go back to the answers you made. You go back and reconsider, why did I use gold and platinum to be the creator of my physical matter dimension? And did I choose right to use whatever you call zinc and the others to be the creator of my soul? Did you choose carbon to be in that box? Did you choose the other elements which brings in common denominator the level of the soul lower, that in the soul of physicality of the vertical people you can reach the dimension of the creation and the creator in essence by confirming your own soul within the structure you made. Many of you knowledge seekers in the coming weeks and days will achieve this. Many of you will become the beacon lights for the others to shine, to be ready for the presence of the what must be promised, the presence of the soul, the condition that will lead mankind to the totality of the physicality, the beauty of the creation, the beauty of the mirror that will reflect the light of the Creator. As I said, it takes only one soul to enlighten the totality. Now you understand. As it does not create light by itself, but it's become the reflector of the light of the Creator in essence, that is so low that it reaches all the souls of the creation. From the time of the beginning of time. Try to build your systems as mankind is physical and he has to see. Or try to become as souls together, that standing in front of each other, you become humbler than the one in front of you, that you may reach the level of the soul of the others within the structure you build. That once one shines, the rest shall shine with it. In a way, you don't need a dynamic system. In a way, mankind has to become the servitude to serve and to understand the totality. It depends on you, which path you take. You go to create the dimension of physicality and confirmation of the fields that it leads to confirmation of existence of your soul, or you go to the way of doing, the maximum, the biggest, to be the highest, and to find out the further you travel from the point of interaction with your soul. As I said, to contradict each other. Man's life has to be the biggest and the strongest and the whatever to prove, and the dimension of the soul to be the humblest. And the biggest question is, where does the soul of the man meet the physicality of the man? Who decides and how is decided? It depends on the emotion. How humble you change your emotion to be a giver and not to taker, and to serve, and not to be in a condition that one always sees oneself, to own and to possess. And then you'll find out where you truly sit within the dimension of the life of your soul. Today's teaching is very straightforward. You must have understood for the first time the path to your Creator. And for the first time, as a knowledge seekers, we bring the soul of the man to meet the soul of his Creator through his conduct. And man is physical to what he sees, to use the matter states as a led to creation of his soul itself, to lead him to understanding and elevation of the soul of itself by what we call understanding of totality, to see the light of the Creator. Maybe we all have to become as one soul, that we create the soul of that mirror, that creation, that humbleness, that release for all created things to manifest themselves and to show their beauty in respect to the presence of the Creator soul. In so many ways, we have matured you to one point. Today is the end of the Christian calendar and the end of the life for the dimension of physicality of the man, as we have shown you the dimension and the direction to the soul of the Creator. Those of you who give us up more will receive more, but do not expect to receive, as at that point you will lose, because now you have put limitation and expectation and value to your giving. In so many ways, the gifts are few, but in so many ways, the receivers are many. But there is enough to give and to receive from the totality of the existence. Go back and try to develop, to make, and to make sure that you understand the knowledge. And with it, create the new soul. The new soul to be so humble that it allows you to see and to understand the presence of your own soul. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's good. May I ask you, do you think that Baha'u'llah is the soul which unifies the planet for this Eve? And after other souls will come to unify the planet, I mean the messenger of God? Thank you.
Many positions, and even the position of the Christ or the other prophets is the same. In a way, they tried to guide man during the time and understanding of their people. And it says, please write your question to Q&A. Is it here or not? Is it here or somewhere else? Yes.
Let's just Stanley put that into for people to put the questions into the Q&A rather than the chat, I think.
It says no open question.
No open questions right now, yes. We're still looking for questions there.
Okay. Now we have to understand that it's not anymore my profit or what I believe in the path of who or what. It's from now on what my soul, my understanding will lead me to. The understanding of man today has reached a point to the profit of the past, because now man knows the path to his soul, does not need another soul to guide it. It needs another soul to elevate it. It needs a humbler soul to understand it. And this is how, as I said, with a new cycle of understanding the science of the creation, one does not need someone else to be told by, because you are told to be able to read and understand the work of your soul, to be able to create the condition for the creation of your soul. In the past, even to recent time, all men were illiterate. Even those who called themselves priests and guidance and whatever. And they made up what they wanted, because the others could not read or write either. But this time we have taught the knowledge of the Creator through the soul of the man. Does not need a language to write and read. The knowledge needs to touch the soul of the man. The man will be educated. As in the universe, we have no schools and no languages, but we understand the operation of the creation through interaction of the fields of the existence. In the past, those who were supposed to be the priests and mullahs and the rest themselves were ignorant not only to read, but even to the knowledge and the essence of the message. And they said what they liked, and they did what they liked. And others, through the illiteracy of them, accepted, as they could not read or write themselves. This time, mankind is educated, fully educated, in all languages of the man or the universe, from the interaction of the fields to the writing of the pen of the man. Then no one can fool no one, and no one can say one prophet is higher than the other and is the last one and is the guide to the totality. Now your soul has to guide you.
Yes, I understood. Yes, thank you very much. And I have other question related to Zoroastrianism. I know that Zoroastrianism has 3 dispensations. When the third one will start, or the second, I don't know very well the dates and how it's playing, because Baha'u'llah answered one Zoroastrist fellow of Baha'i faith that Bab was the second dispensation and Baha'u'llah Eve is the third one, and it will take 500 million years, this eve of third dispensation of Zoroastrianism. If you know some details, Can you illuminate me? Thank you.
What do you mean by that? You see, you come from a different path than others, as the others are from different paths from you in their own way. The process of what we call the messengers in the past has been as the man did not understand his soul. Now you understand. Do you need the messengers of the past? They were as beacons to guide you to this point. From now on, is you who have to understand the totality. How long do you want to put a span for that time of understanding? 500 million years or 1 second for the maturity of your soul?
Yes, this I try to understand since my childhood. And my mother said, you are not a believer and you are bad. Why you try to find the truth by yourself and by your heart and soul? You have to be with a community and to trust. And my father was educated to become a priest, but he never been a priest because he understood that
there's something wrong somewhere.
Yes. And in Baha'i religion, we don't have leaders, spiritual leaders. That's why I accepted this. I said it's a liberal one, and we have a spiritual assembly. Everybody is free.
You see, what is important in the new cycle is for man to understand the work of his own soul. And for many of people, they needed the tools to be able to reach, to confirm. This is why we call the science and the religion, or the path of understanding one's soul, has been brought together to show it's the same. As I said in the interview yesterday, the soul of, do we need the Vatican to tell us how to develop our soul? Or is there a place anymore for religions? Unless those who push with it are the ones who want to carry on with the abuse that they are used to. Mankind have been abused so much that the abusers see as their right to carry on abusing. Do we need that position? Or do we accept that we are in a position and a condition of understanding the totality, that we don't need someone who does not even understand as much as we do to tell us what to do? At the moment, the problem with the teaching of the Keshe Foundation is not that we teach you so much above the present science that you know gases and plasma more than the plasma physicist because he can show his work. We taught you more about the soul and the creation of it than you know more than the priests and those who call themselves prophets in some cases. So, do you need that point of reference? Or does your knowledge and understanding and intellect become the point of your reference?
I always said that I don't need to follow something in order to become a good person, to do good things good, and stay good. Our own consciousness is a moral one, and we have to guide us. For me, soul is synonym with consciousness, but it doesn't matter the word, the reality is the same. I think that we can have direct link with divinity through our soul, and we have to listen to our soul, and he will be our guide. You are right. That's why I found you, because I was searching for people similar to me. Thank you very much. God bless you, Mr. Keshe. I missed yesterday your interview. May I have it somehow?
It is with the Italian community.
Well, maybe better not to ask this. I had a question. I saw somebody on the footage in video. Hello, everybody. Hello, Mr. Keshe. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Nice to hear your voice. And I saw a footage of they killed somebody, very humble person. And when in the room of commander, they send the missile or whatever to him, to his car, exploded. And when it touches, this missile touches the car, immediately sort of flame, but not really flame, from down goes up, doesn't go too much up, maybe. Very little go up and dies, this light. And not only me, but the person who was sending this missile in the room said, "What's that?" Very fearful or astonished of this light which came from the car. At one point of the car drew up. And I used to tell myself, this is the soul of this person. But today, with what you said, I thought it's not his soul. I remember now because I'm drinking. I don't know what you said today, which I found that it's not his soul, it was something else. I don't remember. So what was his soul which coming out of his body, or was it something else? That light, very short light, like a light, long, but not very long. It just came at the moment the light comes from other side to explode. It goes up. Could it be this, the light of the soul of this person?
The present technology, in some ways, as is recorded of the different strength of the fields, has managed to show a number of occasions when the soul leaves the body of the man. In the coming time, as we develop technologies, like in the hospitals, as they say now the person has passed away, we will be able to see what we call when the soul of the man leaves the physicality, when the true separation comes. If you remember the old English way that they used to leave a line in a coffin just in case if the man wakes up and rings a bell, as the last bell. Now, with understanding of even the soul of the man has a strength in the fields, we can create systems that can tell us the exact precise position and time when the soul of the man leaves the physicality, where a new cycle of life starts, a new birth. And in so many ways, mankind to this knowledge will become much more wiser to understand the truth. And maybe in the coming time, when the wisdom of the man reaches its maturity, then we can measure the strength of the soul and find out where the soul has taken position in the universe. In a way, as we create the fields of totality of the life, we'll be able to create GPS for where our soul's new address will be, where on earth finds a permanent address within the coffin, whereas his new address will be in the dynamic fields of the universe. These are the truth that mankind has to come mature to. We go to the graves of our loved ones. In the future, we'll be able to go to the position to find what the soul of our father and forefathers have created. Were they, due to what we see from them, correct people, or were they wrong? Do they shine? And what have they managed to achieve in the cycle of the creation?
So probably it was his soul, the light which went up.
Could be, but nowadays we've seen many pictures taken from animals and physical life when they leave the soul damage. Because what we see is a residual of the fields which is at the level of the detection of the man. It's a chemtrails, as you call it, in the what you call work of the physical aircrafts. Is a trail, as we see with meteorites, is another massive fields which leaves, and at that time it still interacts with other fields within its environment and creates these lights, conformation of the exit. It's not that it's one above, but the combination of the field of strength in its environment that in interaction with some will see the trail of it.
Thank you very much. In fact, it's anniversary of his death today, and he made millions and millions.
There might be really be about. Well, we do have a couple of questions in the YouTube, if you like.
Please.
Herbert has several questions about Jesus the Christ. How does an understanding of Jesus the Christ different from your teaching?
I don't teach. We are not in that game. We are not in that level.
Then he says, can it really be about truth if we reject the knowledge of Christ as expressed in the life of Jesus?
What did science, technology did Jesus teach? Acts of conduct of the soul of the man, or in life of physicality.
So he goes on, are you saying that as when Jesus taught that the laws were given as a schoolmaster, are you saying that even Jesus is a type of schoolmaster and your teachings are beyond that level?
Our teaching is beyond the level of what has been taught up to now by all the prophets. We are not prophets. We are universal messengers, where we teach the knowledge of universe to those who are behind, to catch up. We see the most advanced knowledge of science has never been taught by any of the prophets because they had no scientific background to do. Even what we see now in the world of Judaism, they tell you if you go to a Jewish house, there are two sets of everything, two sets of cups, two sets of plates, two sets of spoons and forks. As they say, they don't mix the plates and the cutlery of what they eat meat in and what they eat milk in, dairy product. Because at that time, Moses observed that the foods, the milk which is cooked inside the pans which they will cook meat in will go bad. So he said to separate it. That was the extent of his knowledge of the science as he observed. In this cycle, we teach the science of the creation and with it, how to conduct the soul of the man. No, in no time, any of the prophets of the past have taught the science. Merely touched it just because they were asked and they were trying to cover it a little bit. As we know, in respect to the black seed, when they asked Muhammad, bless his name, can you give us one medicine, one herb, one thing that cure most of the diseases for us in the desert? Muhammad said, use the black seed. And now we know it has many applications. Implication depends how you use it. That was the extent of the knowledge as to observe who uses black seed and what he gets. It's the first time the face of the science and the knowledge through science gives meaning, the true meaning to understand the religion, the soul. And you are responsible for it. You don't need a priest to tell you. You don't need somebody who was totally illiterate to teach you, and you believe it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Bernard in the YouTube is insisting I ask the question, Dr. Keshe, does your MagRab plasma electrical system run on a Tesla system of volts per second, where the power grid is the Hertz system with cycles per second?
No.
Okay. And one more from YouTube before we get back to some of our other guests here. From Stephen, Mr. Keshe, what is the difference between center of mass and center of gravity? And how can the center of mass exist outside of the mass? And can the center of gravity exist outside the body?
Depends what you define as mass and what you define as gravity. And depends if you read the book number 1 to explain what the mass is. And then you will understand the meaning of what is and can it be. Next question.
Okej, to by było na tyle, jeśli chodzi o dzisiejszy materiał. Jeśli ktoś ma jakieś pytania, spostrzeżenia lub jakąkolwiek wiedzę do podzielenia się, to zapraszam. Okej, w takim razie podzielę się swoimi spostrzeżeniami na temat tego fragmentu, który słuchaliśmy. Pierwsza część 361 warsztatu Poszukiwaczy wiedzy, który leciał w zeszły czwartek. I tutaj od początku dr Keshe wraca do podstaw plazmy, mówi o pozycji słabszego, o tym, że to właśnie ona dyktuje przepływ i teraz mówiąc o tej relacji słabszy, silniejszy, od razu przechodzi tutaj wytłumaczenie, gdzieś tam rozwinięcie tego aspektu dualizmu naszej egzystencji, dualizmu, czyli tego wymiaru fizycznego, w którym chcemy być najwięksi, najsilniejsi, najsprawniejsi, można powiedzieć, tak już przecież mówił Darwin, że w tej teorii na przykład ewolucji silniejszy, ten bardziej zaadaptowany, większy, silniejszy jest w stanie przetrwać kosztem, można powiedzieć, tego słabszego. Z kolei ten drugi aspekt naszego dualizmu, czyli wymiar duszy, to jest ten wymiar, w którym bardziej staramy się poruszać w takich aspektach, jak w takiej sile pól, jak pokora, jak przyjmowanie właśnie pozycji niższego po to, żeby móc otrzymywać. I tutaj dr Keshe właśnie przedstawia nam ten konflikt, tą dychotomię, można powiedzieć, gdzie jeśli rozważamy siebie jako jedną jednostkę, no to mamy te dwa przeciwstawne bieguny, można powiedzieć, dwa takie, po angielsku to by było competing interests, czyli takie walczące ze sobą siły, czy coś w tym stylu. I tutaj właśnie ten konflikt, który został narysowany, to jest właśnie ta różnica pomiędzy tymi dwoma wymiarami, pomiędzy tymi dwoma aspektami, można powiedzieć, tą różnicę nazywamy właśnie emocjami, czyli różnica pomiędzy tym, co dajemy i różnica pomiędzy tym, co otrzymujemy, bo skoro mówimy o stanie większy, silniejszy, to jest to w plazmie, to jest ten warunek, ta strona, która karmi drugą stronę, która jest słabsza, a z kolei mówiąc o tym słabszym, to jest ta strona, która otrzymuje, czyli właśnie różnica pomiędzy tym, co dajemy, a co otrzymujemy, to są emocje, albo różnica, można powiedzieć, między siłą pól tych dwóch wymiarów. I tutaj celem w tym wszystkim, jak mówi dr Keshe, jest to, żeby ta różnica, ten dystans pomiędzy jednym wymiarem a drugim, jedną duszą a drugą, wyniosła zero, czyli zmalała ten dystans, żeby ta różnica zredukowała się do zera. I to jest to, co dr Keshe kiedyś też o tym mówił w troszkę inny sposób, na przykład mówiąc, żeby przybliżyć głowę do serca, żeby właśnie zmniejszyć ten dystans, zmniejszyć tą przestrzeń między jedną duszą a drugą. Zresztą bardzo często też w tych tłumaczeniach, w tych warsztatach pojawia się coś, co jest określane właśnie luką przestrzenną, czyli właśnie tym dystansem, tą przestrzenią pomiędzy jednym elementem a drugim, w tym przypadku właśnie pomiędzy jedną duszą a drugą. I tu jako kolejną wskazówkę, kierunek, dr Keshe mówi nam także o tym, żeby być niżej, być na niższej pozycji, być na tyle pokorni, żeby być niżej od tego, co sami stworzyliśmy, bo w ten sposób jesteśmy po pierwsze w stanie karmić swoją kreację, a poza tym, tak jak zaraz sobie to rozważymy, też jest tutaj jeszcze drugi aspekt, tak samo jak to dr Keshe wytłumaczył na przykładzie nas samych i kreatora. I idąc tymi wskazówkami mówi także o tym, żeby porzucić strach utraty fizyczności, czyli tej obawy o ten wymiar fizyczny i właśnie stać się pokornym na poziomie duszy, czyli w tym drugim wymiarze po to, żeby dawać, karmić. I tak samo nawiązuje tutaj do kreatora, że nawet kreator jest niżej od nas, aby być w stanie od nas otrzymywać naszą miłość. I tak samo przy tych 5 kubkach, czy przy różnego rodzaju systemach, tak jak ta jednostka wzmacniająca, którą od jakiegoś czasu promuje fundacja, też w stosunku do tych systemów też mamy znaleźć taką pozycję niższego, pokorniejszego w stosunku do systemu, żeby być w stanie otrzymywać od tych systemów. A jeżeli system się świeci, to znaczy, to jest jasna wskazówka, że to my dajemy systemowi, a nie bierzemy od niego, więc jesteśmy w stanie być może zaobserwować tą interakcję także wizualnie. I to właśnie ta pozycja pokory, pozycja słabszego sprawia, że nawet kreator jest w stanie nas zauważyć. Daje nam, skoro stwarzamy warunek słabszego, to jesteśmy tą stroną biorącą, więc on nam daje, a my możemy być w tym procesie, możemy być częścią niego, bo przecież w plazmie zawsze mówimy o o magrawie, mag-graw, czyli to, co jest magnetyczne. W drugą stronę mamy zawsze przepływ grawitacyjny. Można powiedzieć, że ten uścisk dłoni działa w obie ręce, więc jeśli nawiązujemy linię komunikacji z kreatorem, to automatycznie mamy ten kanał zwrotny, można powiedzieć, tego połączenia, więc to nigdy nie jest relacja w jedną stronę, można powiedzieć, czy interakcja w jedną stronę, bo ta interakcja jest zawsze w obie strony. I w ten sposób, rozumiejąc to, czy rozrysowując to sobie gdzieś tam w taki sposób, widzimy, że w tym całym procesie jesteśmy niejakoby lustrem dla samego kreatora, bo ta informacja, stworzenie przez nas tej pozycji umożliwia to, żeby właśnie światło kreatora, czy informacja z jego kierunku dotarła do nas, odbiła się i wróciła z powrotem. I jak tutaj mówi dr Keshe, nawiązując do tego, co tłumaczy od paru tygodni, od paru miesięcy, że wystarczy jedna dusza, aby oświeciła, aby nas wszystkich, aby wszystkich w całej tej galaktyce oświeciła wiedza kreatora. I tutaj o to toczy się gra, można powiedzieć, przynajmniej tak to jest prezentowane na warsztatach, żeby właśnie stworzyć tą jedną duszę, która spowoduje właśnie ten przepływ wiedzy, jak do tego lusterka kreatora, gdzie ta wiedza będzie dostępna na przestrzeni całej galaktyki. Jeśli chodzi o kierunki i wskazówki na poziomie gansów, dr Keshe wskazywał tutaj na gansy wodoru, neutronu, bardzo, można powiedzieć, niskie elementy, jeśli spojrzymy na to chociażby z punktu widzenia tablicy Mendelejewa, czy ogólnie ilości protonów, czy elektronów, innych elementów na tym poziomie, więc tutaj przede wszystkim kierowanie się w gansy, w izotopy wodoru, a także te niższe. Była też mowa o gansach z gansów. Myślę, że to około rok czy 2 lata temu też były takie koncepcje prezentowane i myślę, że wiele osób też na przestrzeni całego świata zrobiło różnego rodzaju gansy z gansów i tutaj cały czas mówimy o tym warunku, gdzie można powiedzieć w materii schodzimy bardzo nisko, ale jeśli chodzi o siłę pól, to tutaj wchodzimy na wyższe poziomy, można powiedzieć. I później była seria pytań. Salomija miała pytanie o Baha'ę i proroków w przeszłości. I tutaj jedną taką odpowiedź czy zdanie z całej tej wypowiedzi doktora Keshego, które udało mi się odnotować, to, że dusza nie potrzebuje proroka, tylko wzniesienia przez inną duszę. Czyli nikt w zasadzie nie potrzebuje mówić nam, jak mamy robić. Każdy jest w stanie zajrzeć do środka siebie i wie, co kłóci się z tym właściwym postępowaniem, można powiedzieć, na poziomie duszy, a co nie. Nie potrzebujemy innych, żeby nam tego palcem wytykali, ale potrzebujemy tej interakcji, tak jak w plazmie mamy zawsze mag-graw, mamy tą interakcję w dwie strony, tak samo i tak jak tutaj dr Keshe zachęcał do tego, żeby być niżej w stosunku do swojej kreacji, być niżej także w stosunku do kreatora, żeby móc od niego otrzymywać. Mówił nam o tym, że kreator też stawia siebie w tej niższej pozycji w pewnym aspekcie, żeby otrzymywać, więc widzimy, że jedyne, czego potrzebujemy, to właśnie interakcji, interakcji pól, wymiany informacji, otrzymania wiedzy, czy gdzieś tam zbierania, można powiedzieć, wiedzy, informacji, poszerzania, można powiedzieć, swojego własnego horyzontu zrozumienia. Kolejne pytanie było od Mernas, która pytała tutaj o odejście duszy, o jakieś tam aspekty, które są widzialne w tym procesie i dr Keshe mówił o tym, że czasami widzimy właśnie ten chemitrial, czy ten ogon komety, można powiedzieć, który ciągnie się za odchodzącą duszą i jest to nic innego jak interakcja pól duszy właśnie z tymi polami, które są dostępne w środowisku, która może prowadzić do tego, że jesteśmy w stanie coś takiego zaobserwować. Następne pytanie, to była seria pytań z czata odnośnie Jezusa Chrystusa, Jego nauczaniach, gdzieś tam odniesienia tego do tego, co dr Keshe naucza i tutaj dr Keshe mówił, że Jezus nie nauczał żadnej technologii, tak samo inni prorocy też w zasadzie nie zagłębiali się w to zagadnienie w nauczanie od punktu widzenia technologii, ale przede wszystkim uczyli właściwego postępowania w taki sposób, jaki jest zgodny właśnie z etosem naszej własnej duszy. I tutaj myślę, że to jest ta różnica, którą dr Keshe stara się narysować, że tutaj mamy i od samego początku też to, co nas ominęło, pierwsze 24 minuty, tam był filmik, który już wielokrotnie był prezentowany. I do tego filmiku też nawiązywał dr Keshe. Tam w tym filmiku było właśnie powiedziane, że te nauczania są tym punktem, gdzie dusza spotyka się z nauką, gdzie dusza spotyka się z fizycznością, gdzie te wszystkie elementy łączą się razem, gdzie technologia, nauka i teologia, można powiedzieć, to wszystko łączy się w całość. I tutaj dr Keshe właśnie wskazuje to połączenie, ten drugi aspekt, można powiedzieć, nauczania, tą dualność nauczania, że tutaj już nie mówimy tylko o poziomie duszy, o postępowaniu, tak jak nauczali poprzedni prorocy, tylko mówimy tutaj o całości, o zrozumieniu wszystkich zależności, także tych naukowych, technologicznych, odnośnie i naszej fizyczności, tych praw, które rządzą się na poziomie naszej fizyczności, czyli w jednym aspekcie dualności naszej egzystencji, a także w tych można powiedzieć, subtelniejszym zakresie pól, w tym, który nie jest widzialny dla naszego oka, na poziomie tego drugiego aspektu naszego dualizmu, czyli właśnie duszy człowieka. No i to by było tyle, jeśli chodzi o przytoczenie tej treści, które były prezentowane na przestrzeni tej pierwszej połowy tego warsztatu. Jeśli ktoś ma ochotę coś dorzucić, dodać albo zadać jakieś pytanie, to zapraszam serdecznie. Dzięki. Okej, myślę, że od strony magnetycznej było dzisiaj wiele wiedzy z ekranu, z monitora, z tych nagrań poleciało. Tak jak mówiliśmy nawet w tym warsztacie, potrzeba tego sprzężenia zwrotnego, potrzeba tej informacji zwrotnej, tej grawitacji, żeby zamknąć cykl. Myślę, że z tą myślą zakończymy to spotkanie. Dzięki za dzisiaj. To był 429. warsztat poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. W czwartek, 7 stycznia 2021. Do zobaczenia na prezentacji drugiej części tego warsztatu, 361. warsztatu poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku angielskim, drugą część, tłumaczenie na język polski, będziemy prezentować w niedzielę o godzinie 21. Zapraszam. Dzięki.